What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we checked out some videos of, some WTF moments from Americans visiting Europe. Now we got, what do Europeans do better than Americans? And I'm sure there's one, what do Americans do better than Europeans? We're going to check that out as well. But for the sake of this video, let's see what Europe does better than America. I'm sure it's going to be a lot when it comes to healthcare, food, transportation, all those things. I'm gonna be shocked to see some new stuff. But I know those are the main things. So let's see if they give us something that I haven't heard before. Let's ask Reddit. Hit that subscribe button. Send down those recommendations.
What are Europeans better at than Americans? Languages.
Okay.
This is true for practically any other country. Edit might get flamed, so I'ma just say continent. Except Britain. We're just as useless as the Americans because the continent largely indulges us in our entitlement by speaking English to the tourists. Public transportation.
Of course.
Edit, Bosnia doesn't have shit transport and we don't need much more. I'm just saying American cities trump us.
Dang.
They meant the part of Europe with jobs, lol.
Lol.
Have you ever spent time traveling in Germany? You ever take the metro in Los Angeles? Started on Friday. I'm almost to my destination.
Oh my
Using
God.
measurement units. One day our teachers said we were going to learn the metric system in class. A couple days later they said never mind.
It's funny because I did a couple of videos over the metric system, and like I said before, even in those videos, like we learned it, but we didn't learn it as much. It's like different things that you learn, you know what I'm saying? The periods and all that stuff. But that's funny, because that's how some teachers be. They be like, oh, we're going to do this. Then they be like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. We're going to change it up.
Feet. Why did they say never mind? Because apparently they were told we weren't going to be taught it. Using U in Scrabble. And a tilde, e-diaresis, e-o, u-diaresis. Prison systems.
Okay.
European prison systems equals a reform system. US prison systems equals a punishment system.
That's true.
The period from 1850 onwards in Europe is when we learned that you have to change people's behavior to stop them committing crimes and not just treat them like shit for committing crimes.
Oh my gosh, that is major fact. 'Cause that is exactly how it is. Like, people can change, but people need to know and be set up in a way to make those changes. Like, person commit a crime, there are some more wicked than other type of crimes, but it's like if a person commit a crime or something, like, they need to be shown the good things that they need to be doing in life. Not just getting treated like they're nothing.
Stop them committing crimes and not just treat them like shit for committing crimes. Healthcare planning. Americans were catching up until we played our trump card. Having paid holidays. Or paid maternity leave.
Right.
Oh my god, yes. I live in a developing Asian country and I was so shocked when I got to know that the US doesn't have paid maternity leave. Edit, I had 6 months of paid leave.
Oh my gosh.
Portion control. Came here to say this. Big portions are so normalized here. I've traveled through 30 different countries and in similar classes/types of restaurants, so don't compare fast food in the US to a nicer place in Europe. Portion sizes have not been significantly different anywhere. I feel like this gets popularized because some European takes a tour of the US and only ever eats at Popeyes and only ever orders the family size. Lol, look Karen, the portion sizes are so big. Compared to a basic cafe back home. The only exception is soda drink sizes, and the availability of free
So, the portion size, they do have all those family sizes, party size, they have all those type of things now. But it's the fact, I guess it would be the fact that you are able to get those type of, sizes of your food, portions of food type thing. But, I don't think I seen this man eat around the world like big old, like he did a food challenge and there's like big old portions of food, It was a food challenge type thing, but still it's being made.
fills, but Americans also tend to load up probably more than half the volume of the cup with ice. You can tell who's American and who's European just by looking at the answers, lol.
Lol.
But seriously, Europeans are more cautious about their health and will go do something about problems. I've heard of Americans avoiding the hospital because of the costs. Not allowing kids to go into lunch debt.
Oh my god.
Lunch debt. Sorry, what? Read a news article a few days ago that a school said if the parents didn't clear the lunch debt of the kids, the children might be taken away from them.
What?
And then something about a billionaire offering to pay off the lunch debt of the children, but the school didn't allow that.
That's crazy.
How do you rack up this lunch debt? Basically in America the kids can either bring their own lunch or buy lunch from the school like a food court. But it's typically a system where you punch in a number, it charges your account like a credit card, you get your food and a bill gets sent home to the parents at the end of the month. Some parents can't pay this lunch debt and so the schools threaten to take the kids unless they pay, which they can't do and would have no legal right to do so. What the fuck is wrong with American schools?
That is, oh my god, I forgot about, like now, I believe breakfast and lunch is, I think it's totally free. I might be mistaken. It might just be in Texas. I don't know. It might be around the world, just Texas. But dang, this was an issue. Oh my god, because your parents had to make a certain amount of money a year. So like most people that had most kids that were charged for their lunch food, were probably those kids like, you know, either their parents or that parent made a lot of money, so they had to pay for the. I mean, you might think, oh, it's like $2, $3, $4, $5. Still, the school food is not that great to be charging for it. It isn't. It's not that good to be charging kids $2, $3. I remember these days because there used to be people like, I was in lunch line. This one kid thought he was like, this happened a couple of times. Kids think they finna get what's on the menu for, oh no, you owe money. Here's this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Sometimes it was just a peanut butter sandwich. Or sometimes it was just a ham sandwich. No mayo, no mustard. Like they used to do that. Take kids' trays back and get them a sandwich. A whole sandwich. A dry sandwich. Like it was a piece a day. Nacho day. Here's a sandwich because you owe $20 that your parents didn't pay. They used to do that to kids. That's crazy. It's crazy. That never crossed my mind that was a thing. They used to charge us for this week lunch food. That's crazy.
Public drinking. Mostly. Not the Brits though. Source, I'm a Brit. As an American who now lives in the UK, I love when my friends and I go out to a show and start drinking on the train. Even though I've been here well over a decade and know that it's legal in my area, it still feels like I'm being a rebel. One thing it ain't is air conditioning, I tell you what. Being quiet. Everyone in America seems to shout real loud. Also, European comedy, such as The Office, is more profound and deep-rooted. I feel as if American comedy is more direct and slapstick. I like both forms though. Profound and deep-rooted, my ass. Monty Python is great and all, but that's wit, not anything profound or deep-rooted. Not saying Monty Python is the only example, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. Geography. Wearing clothes that fit. So true. Even Obama had the worst fucking tailoring.
Oh my god.
Trousers way too long, jacket sloping off his shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
And now we have Boris, who looks like a pig trying to burst out of a straitjacket. Being able to form an orderly queue without being told to do so. Ha, not in Italy. Laughs in Dutch. Cheese. Gruyere, Parmesan, feta, you name it. We in the US, on the other hand, have a yellow, nondescript cheese product called American
bread. It's crazy because when I go to Subway after American cheese, it's actually white. So I don't, like, I guess the American cheese is either yellow or white. And I ain't gonna lie, there's some cheese, you gotta be careful what cheese you buy in America though. Because there's some cheese that don't melt. That's why you can't buy the cheap, like you have to buy the expensive cheese. You can't buy the cheap cheese because it don't melt. Kid you not. Like, is obviously yellow plastic. Like, be careful if you visit America. Hey, do not buy the cheap cheese. I don't care if it look. You get the most expensive one, and there's a chance that cheap it's not gonna melt. It's not gonna melt, and I don't think it's cheese if it's not melting.
US, on the other hand, have a yellow, nondescript cheese product called American bearing our name. You have enraged Wisconsin. Wisconsin will remember that. Vermont nods in solidarity. Come on, it's not yellow, more like a fluorescent orange. Yeah. Counter-Strike. At me nerds. Rushing B intensifies. Raising children and training their dogs. I'm an American in Germany and children are so much better behaved. Complete meltdowns in public are so much less common here, and when they do happen, the parents are often actively trying to take care of the situation instead of continuing to leisurely stroll around the grocery store letting them scream it out. Similar for pets, maybe because cars aren't as common so they have to be well enough trained to go on public transport and people don't often have big yards to just let dogs out in. Every day I pass people in the city without their dogs on a leash, but the dogs entirely ignore everyone around, just stick with their owners.
That's good.
Almost never do I even get the chance to pet dogs because they ignore you that much. Honestly, way to go Europe, or at least Germany.
And that's a crazy, because you're really supposed to train your kids too. It's more than just raising them. You gotta train them. They gotta know. Dang, he's speaking fast, because you know how many times you can go through a grocery store here in the U.S. and see some kids acting out. And sometimes the parents know, like, my kids, they will act out, but I have to give them that look. I give them that look, especially, I got boys, so they wired, they got a lot of energy. That look, then go about my business and they straighten up just like that. I don't know. Maybe I have to stay on to them. You got to.
As for children, I think this is at least partially a German thing. As a Dutch person, it's always easy to distinguish German families from Dutch ones because the German children are much more well behaved. That and socks in sandals, of course. But I haven't been to the US, so I don't know how Dutch children compare to Americans.
And I think this is a different topic, a good topic too, that could be discussed, because if you compare the children, like in Europe, y'all tell me everybody well behaved, kids are more independent and stuff. I think it's an eye opener if you able to come to the US and see like why it isn't so much independency when it comes to children and certain things when it comes to children. I'm telling you guys, it's a different world out here. Like that's why I gotta go to Europe. I got to. It's
Noticed
different.
The same thing. People took the leashes off in parks and their dogs just walked along with them, ignoring everyone. I'm trying to get my dog to do the same, but here people generally don't ignore her. It's just how things are here. She does fine until a person makes eye contact with her or speaks to her and she loses her shit and starts hopping on her hind legs. I like that she's friendly, but I'd love to occasionally be able to take her on a walk and not have to talk to anyone. I loved the lack of small talk in Germany and the Netherlands. Being informed about other cultures beside their own. There's two things I hate in this world. Those who are intolerant of other people's cultures. And the Dutch. Zegmaka.
Oh my god.
Coffee. I don't understand how something they named black coffee can be see-through. If a soul can find its way through, the coffee is not black enough.
That's funny.
Having a middle class. Yeah, just homeless and millionaires here. My wife, who is French, once stayed with an American family before we met. The dad decided to order in pizza, and she said, "Wow, great. I love pizza." The dad was thunderstruck and said, "Oh, you have pizza in Europe
too?" Oh my god.
Was the dad retarded or something? No, he's just an American.
Who doesn't have pizza? Everybody have it. I mean, it's a pizza on this tray right now. Everybody has pizza. I mean, I hope. I mean, some form of pizza.
Making chocolate and other candy. True, and that the default chocolate is always overly sweet / milky / artificial milk chocolate.
Yes.
Even European milk chocolate is different than ours. Don't get me started on dark chocolate. Being awake when this was posted. Going to the hospital without also going into bankruptcy. Building restroom doors. Out of everything in this thread, this is the one I agree with the most as an American. Coming home from school. How on earth no one said education?
Oh my God, that is the main thing coming. Come on now, we know what's going on here. That's crazy.
Home from school.
That's a fact.
How on earth no one said education? In Europe everyone has a chance to good education. Heck, even Asians and Indians come here because it's affordable and sometimes free. Traveling before being old. English guy here who has lived in North America. One thing I prefer, in general, about Europeans is what I would call a pessimistic realism. Whilst the North American shiny happy attitude is at times a joy to be around, after a while it gets quite annoying. A good example of this would be from my time spent in Canada. It felt as though people were terrified to offend, trying to live up to expectations of North Americans as warm and friendly people. This eagerness to please would often come across as disingenuous and make it hard to know exactly how they felt. Whereas English people in general would much more readily speak the truth of the situation as they see it, and this for me is a more pragmatic and useful approach to interaction. Struck me that a lot of Canadians were living to please but dying to offend.
Wow.
Traveling outside one's country, and the interest for it. Most people in the US would love to travel to other countries. Sadly we can't hop on a train and drive through 5 different countries in a few days like you.
That's a fact, cause I'm telling y'all, I've been looking up tickets and it's super expensive for us. That's why I said if I'm going one place, I'm gonna have to see a couple of places within a week or 2 weeks type thing, because ain't no way. That's a lot of money. It's a whole lot.
Most Americans can't afford to leave their own state. People want to, it's just expensive to fly across an ocean instead of take a 20-minute train ride. Driving. I don't mean all Europeans, but as a German I feel intrigued by Americans driving cars. The lack of manual transmission experience is astounding. The place I work at does maintenance for rental car company and all summer literally 85% of our work is changing clutches in all the cars after they get a couple weeks of American tourists driving them. Can Americans who learn in an automatic legally drive a manual? I'd if you're from the UK, but if you learn with an automatic you can't drive a manual. Yes, there's no transmission specific testing here. I took my road test in an auto, now am I only drive a manual.
Oh my God, that was great. That was great. Hey, I can say there's a lot of things that Europeans do better than Americans, you know. And I mean, I'm sure there's vice versa. It just depends on what we're talking about here, though. It just depends. But yeah, that lunch thing, that one got me, because it brought back a lot of memories, because man, they really used to take kids lunch and just give them a sandwich, a dry sandwich. Like, I start thinking about all the times a lot of kids would turn down to get that sandwich. Crazy times. But y'all let me know. Maybe you know some more things Europeans does better than Americans. Drop it down in the comments below. That's all I have for this video. Hit that subscribe button, send out more recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.